Well, hello everybody. It's Brandon. We're back with more Contained, and it almost looks like I'm getting, lined up for a firing squad, but these are just my new friends. So last time, we did get Revengeanation on the Warden, fantastically one-shotting him. I was very happy with that. But we now need to start making use of all those Warden hearts and the budding hearts that we had made, and that's why I've made this platform. Just very simple. I did want to kind of build up vertically. I have the 7 of the Enderic lasers. I used the target designator on each one. So each one is just pointing, it's targeting this block. You know what? Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. Okay, good. That's correct. And then I believe I already tested this. But let's test it again just to make sure. If I place a block right here and do that, yes. Okay. So I did properly make it onto the block above it. I then have these pipes coming out of the bottom. They are running down to this chest, and then that is running into this crafter. And I need to make something for that stuff to go into, but I'm not there just yet. But we probably will be there very shortly. I'm hoping my audio sounds okay. I would notice that the noise suppression was kind of cutting off some of my audio anytime that I ended up talking too quietly. So I bumped that up a little bit, but now you might be able to hear my keyboard here and there. I'm not sure. If we come over here, I made that. Do I not? Did I not make the budding hearts? Okay, I have 4 budding hearts, but I need 3 more. I'm going to hold off on making all of these because I'm pretty sure this is, yeah. So the budding core, that is the only thing that those are used for. But then we have the actual hearts themselves. Those are used really just in those 2 recipes. So maybe it's not that big of a deal, but whatever. Let's grab the stuff that we're going to need. We want the uranite. I saw it somewhere before the block of diamond. We're also going to want quartz, amethyst, emerald, certus quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4. I really feel like I already made these somewhere else before, but I cannot find them right now. But that's okay. So there, there. Is it 4 there as well? Okay. So let's get these situated. So diamond, emerald, amethyst, certus quartz, regular quartz, uranite. I feel like what were the other ones? There were some other ones that I needed. Let's look at budding. Emerald, diamond. We can't get the gold yet. Can't get the iron yet. Um, so or was it the G ore? Not George. The G ore. Okay. G ore shard is what we're looking for here. So Certus quartz, got it. I don't think I can make the coal. No, I cannot. I have the diamond. I have emerald. I have red snow. Hmm. What were the other ones? I have the uranite. Was it uranium? Hmm. Hmm. Let's look at what this is used for. Um, because all of these are the same. So diamond, certus, uranite. I'm not. I think it was because I was getting close to platinum. Amethyst. Yeah. Uranium. But I don't think we can get that yet. So I. But. Because here's 6. I know for a fact there was one more. I know there was. Let's look at the laser. Was it potentially with that? So calcite, uranite crystal turns into plutonium dust. Ooh, that's interesting. And a Cirrus quartz block turns into the charge. Okay. So maybe I set it aside. Maybe I made that one to where I could come back to it later. Not sure. But an interesting thing here is the uranite might not work the way I wanted it to. So here's the uranite, and I think this is going to complete a quest. It did. Let's get our stuff where we want it. I kind of want diamond in the middle. I fought long and hard to get that where I wanted it. And then we can put the crystals down on this side, and we're gonna boop, 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 boop. Okay. Oh, and that's already growing. So I should just have to flip the switch, and these are all going to start working. My concern is that the uranite shard is going to immediately get turned into plutonium. But we will see what happens here in just a moment. I also don't know what this is going to do to my power draw. I feel like this is going to get sucked down real quick. 768. Actually, not bad. These, I'm going to guess, are going to start going into overtime. These are producing... that's... Okay. So I have 6 here. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are producing 64 RF a tick, transporting out 512. And I have... that's 1,000... I think I would need to make more of these generators. But let's see what's happening here. No. Okay. So that is getting made into what I thought it was supposed to. Interesting. Okay. And we can go ahead and just do one of those numbers. That's working pretty good. I think for questing purposes, I should go ahead and grab one of these. Yep. Let's... Ooh. Ooh, my voice. What's going on here? Copper coins. Wait, what? What? Wait, what's happened here? There's been a change. Small uranite dust. That's from the fragmenting, right? But that also goes into copper coins. Hold on, because I already got a bunch of quests. I probably should have read the logs, huh? I have the B-Bucks. What? Okay, hold on. There's a coin, copper coin. Oh, things have changed. It doesn't look like they've changed very much. It looks to all be kind of the same thing. V-Bucks, player sells V-Bucks for 1 V-Bucks. What? Is there... I don't see a quest here. Oh. Bah. Bah. Well, wait, what is happening here? Okay, that's going in there. So how can I transform all of that? If I do this? Nope, I don't want to do that. All right, well, you know what? I don't think those haven't appeared to be extremely useful, so I think we're kind of safe to ignore those. But let's get back up here. So this works, and this is good. I like this. We are going to need to turn all of these into different stuff. So we're going to keep one. Oops. Okay, dang it. Okay, keep this one. Oh, there we go. Keep one. So I don't want this to. I don't want there. I don't think there will be a situation, but I don't want there to be a situation where where something happens and all of these get filled. So we can just turn all of this. Yep, like that. Now my output is about to get filled. I'm kind of glad that these don't require power. If they required power, we'd be in a bit of a problem. Okay. I was about to say, why isn't this working? It's because these are all filled. All right. Now we need an output chest. That's simple enough. Just a very simple chest. But how are we then going to process these? That is what I need to consider. Um, the easiest way, of course, would be to simply either build another fragmenter. Is that what this is called? Is it a fragmenter? A machine forge. Yeah, well, a fragmenting forge. I can either build another one or move this one over. I'm not sure. That's probably the best way. I don't think I don't need this here. I can move this over there. So let's get to cracking on that. Do I have not. That is not unbreaking, but that's fine. That's fine. I don't need to move this chest just yet. We will. Oh boy. Right. This is a little annoying. There we go. But yeah, I don't know why those turn invisible. I really, really, really wish they didn't. All right. So we take the fragmenting forge, and that requires 7 cores. I got the 7 cores. And we're gonna place it here. Maybe here. Here. That's yes. Fine. Like that. Now my question, can I pipe in from this side? If I do that, and I do that. Yes, okay. I can pipe in from there. Is one enough? I doubt it. Because I think these will produce way more than what this can output. Let's we'll test it. We'll see what happens. We're just gonna come in. Fine, right here, like that. So that doesn't take long. We need another. Oh, okay. So then we'll place this here and we'll do an output here. I definitely have a feeling I'm going to need to build more. Okay. So that's running. How am I looking for power? You're full. You're there. So let's turn this on and see what happens. hear it all breaking. You're not getting enough juice. So that is, you use 256. So that's a lot. It can almost keep up, but we are running into a power limitation, which is super. So, how do we want to handle that? I almost feel like this will need to be its own independent power circuit. So if we break... Okay, where's this stuff running? So if we break this and this, and that, because fine, maybe I'll rewire this. So yeah, I feel like we need our own separate power circuit for over here. But what form should that take? Now here, we have heavy oil and naphtha and even diesel is getting made. What is it? What was it that was made from the diesel? Diesel. So that was coming from the oil and those clay beads. I don't think I have a way. I technically do have a way. I don't have a way of making dirt seeds, so never mind. Never mind. I keep thinking it's like, oh, I could just make that seed. A lot of those seed recipes don't exist. So sand and heavy oil makes those. Heavy oil is made from just oil, and I technically have an infinite supply of that, and that makes the heavy oil, the light naphtha, and the sulfuric acid. Oil can be burned. That's 1 second in the generator here. So if we go down to this guy, 256. I don't think that's what we want. Are we looking at maybe a steam generator now? Or what are some other options? Okay. So you are producing 64. So each of these is producing 64. Each of these is producing 64. So I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we bring up a quick calculator, 7 times 64 is 448, which isn't really a whole lot. Let's look at power. Power. So, that's, all right, 448. So we're already looking at like the thermogenerators. I've used those a lot in the past. Maybe I want to lean towards something else. There are the reactors. And that's the uranite, the basic capacitor, dielectric paste. That was silicon and blaze powder. Blaze powder was was that. But I can actually make an infinite amount of that. We had discussed this before. There's a way that I can make an infinite amount of blaze doing that. So maybe we want to look at power, because if I get up to blazing thermogenerator, that's 200. Power blazing. So we have the transmitter and energy hopper. Interesting. There is a solar panel that also generates 200. But that also requires power crystals. Not too difficult to make. The solar panel. See, now we're getting in. That is a little bit more difficult. Ooh. But the magmator generates 800. What is this? So That is the thermo generator. What is this? What is this? What is this? Is an FE generator that generates energy when placed on top of a high temp block of fluid like lava. It requires a coolant fluid to run like water, right? So that generates, but that's the max extract. I would need to get all the way up to spirited to start making that seem useful. What are these thermoplates? Thermoplates. How hard are those? Those are not difficult either. Okay, that's something to consider. Let me pause for just a moment and kind of look up some information and kind of take stock of what I have right now, and we'll try to figure out how we want to power all of this. All right, we're back. So I still haven't fully decided on what I want to do. I took probably the last 10, 15 minutes kind of looking through different stuff and thinking about it. While I was doing that, I did go ahead and upgrade these solar panels to using these improved machine cores, which are just redstone and nickel, and I had a crap load of nickel. So these went from producing 64 to 192, which is definitely a big step up. I mean, it triples what we got going there. But I think looking at the quest line kind of leads us to where we need to go anyway. We got Uranite, which is going to lead us into reactors. So I need to make one reactor, and looking at this, I actually need a lot more than that. I at least for now, at least need to start generating 1,000 FE a tick to like kind of get all of this running on its own. So I'm going to need to make Uranite and the capacitors. That gets me the starter. The basic gets me to 1,000, and that's a good starting point. But it's 36 of these blocks based in a 3x4. So yeah, 3x4x3, I guess. I guess it's 3, 3, 3, 4. That'll get me there making Uranite, but that also means I need to have a way of making Uranite on the regular. The raw Uranite, nope. So we're looking at alloying. So we're going to need an alloyer constantly running, producing this, but I don't actually know how much that's going to make. So 4,000. All right, I got some small uranite dust here. That's emerald. So I'm producing a fair bit of the impressional gem, which is good. So we're gonna get that. That's gonna alloy into the uranite. How much of that do I need just to get started with the basic reactor? A lot. Holy crap. So we're looking at 9 crafts of this. So that's 36. 36 plus 9, 45. So I actually might want to have 2 of these going. That might not be that bad of an idea. Is that the 4? That is the 4. That's the wrong thing. We're going to grab this, put it down here, just so we can kind of get this started like that. And let's fire it up. So we'll start producing way more of this. This can kind of keep up. Kinda. But I definitely think we're going to reach a point where I'm going to need multiple fragmenting forges, all running kind of in tandem. I almost wish I had a way of just producing the uranite right now, which I could do. I could do if we simply turned off these other ones. Yeah, if we just do this, turn off the non-uranite, Those are at the ends. These will fill up, and then they'll stop going through, which is fine. That should be fine. Yeah, so this can kind of keep up. I do have this now to where it's outputting 1,000. Because these here each take up 128. Let me get the calculator again. All right, so 128 times 7 plus 256 is 1152. And with all of those going and that, I have an input right now of only 5 because it's nighttime. Oof. Will solar panels always be on in Sindrath? That's a fun question, isn't it? That's a fun question. But I don't know of a way of sending power interdimensionally yet. I suppose I could also... How much power do those take? So that takes 64. The refinery. I'd have to build quite a bit for the refinery, though. How clean do I want my energy to be? That's going to be a very big and important question. You're... Okay, so you're processing the uranite. Is this like all... Okay, so it's pretty much only going through uranite right now. Alright. So we got the... Alright, let's... Blah, 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 blah. Fragmenting forge. What all... Okay. Fragmenting forge. There are secondary outputs, but it's nothing that I can really worry about right now because we're not there. So small uranite, uranite dust. This is the only thing to get it. And then there's uranite essence, but there's no way of making uranite seeds. Okay. Ooh, that's blasting, that's energizing, that doesn't matter. It's just the alloy. Okay. Okay. I also feel like it's pretty much just at a point where it's... Oh, nope. Okay. Let's do that. This output's so fast, I don't think I need to do the keep. Because it won't make... It's fine. God, I get so scatterbrained here. So what it's looking like at this point is I need to turn this one back on. No. At the hub. Do it from above while I'm holding shift. There we go. You have 64. How did you... Ooh. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, you have the emerald. Oh, it's because of whenever I temporarily turned it on, it was acting as an input, and those can accept inputs. Gotcha. Understood. So if we look back, uranite, this. Let's open this up again. Should I really just gather up the stuff and jump to one of the higher tiers? I'm almost thinking yes. So if I wanted, let's look at reactor. Bam. Capacitors. I can make capacitors. They're not the easiest in the world, because I am going to make silicon and blaze powder. So I probably will need to get a large amount of blaze powder. The hardened ones, so the basics is just basic capacitors. So I'll just need a crap load of these batteries, which is electrum and steel, or fluxite and steel, but I will need more plastic. Oh my god. But the hardened ones, that's energized steel, which is steel and iron. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna maybe do some math. I'm gonna let this run for a bit, and now I don't really need you going anymore. at the moment. I just need you to produce the uranite. I need to work on a way of processing all of this stuff, though. Oh, man. So much to do in so little time. And speaking of time, I'm kind of out of it right now. I kind of rambled. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even get to mention that Woot has been added to this. Uh, so I could start taking a look at some of that. I also did realize now that it was here in the shiny. I built that extra laser because I was going to need to make budding platinum at some point soon. Which is also why I need to make a crapload of diamonds very soon. Oh my god, I am an idiot. But I'm going to get this stuff processed. I'm going to gather up materials. I'm going to see how much of this I can actually automate once I have the materials. And I think part of it, especially once we get into this orb, is I'm going to need to work with refined storage. I know how to automate this with refined storage. I don't know how to automate it with anything else. So I'm going to look into other ways that I might be able to do that because I can't just send a pipe because it'll just go blah, 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 and do it all at once. So I'm going to work on that. We're going to figure it out. I really appreciate everyone who has taken the time to stay with me through this. If you have some suggestions, please, please, please leave them in the comments. I really do appreciate it. But this is Brandon. This is Contained, and I will see you next time.